analysts are going to look at. They're going to say, "Wow, what happened in the year 2022 for that governor's campaign?" Because we've got a lot of interesting people, and of course, only the national news is paying attention to the top three. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair at all because there were three other people in the race. Candidates in total, and that's why I wanted to have my next candidate on here because he had a little bit of a rough start and a couple of rough patches through it, and so I wanted to give him time to be able to talk to you listeners. So I'm welcoming you back to the show, Paul Romero. Paul, how you doing?
Hey, hanging in there. Never give up, never surrender.
Never give up, never surrender, man. You've got to work now all through election day. You can't even slow down on election day because they're going to be taking ballots by mail all the way up till whenever they receive them now.
That's right. And the thing I want to tell people, I'm hoping that a lot of voters out there have actually held their ballots until turning them in at the earliest tomorrow. And there's a couple issues that I have yet to see addressed in any of the candidate forums with the three top candidates, the three with the most money. And it's I'm a little shocked by it, to be quite frank. And that issue has to do with China here in Oregon.
I heard commercial, and I thought that they were very interesting because it's something that none of them are talking about, probably because the top three are complicit with what you're discussing.
That would be absolutely correct.
Go ahead and it's your time, man.
Yeah, all right. Well, very simply, one of the things, Oregonian's been very much misled, and China has been very active behind the scenes under camouflage throughout our country, not to mention especially Oregon. Now, here in Oregon, China and elements of the Chinese Communist Party have been buying up farms, ranches, rental properties, water rights throughout Oregon. We just had a major Chinese illegal marijuana grow busted by the feds. They use a lot of water, as you know. And then we have farmers and ranchers all over Oregon that have been shortchanged the water they're actually supposed to get by law. Now,
they're cutting in on the marijuana business, are they?
Yes, they are. Apparently they are, yeah. And so it's really pretty remarkable. And then we have this little thing called the Oregon China Council and a couple of other organizations. But this one in particular is kind of important because, see, there used to be a long list of all our elected officials in the legislature, the governor, everything, who were fully supportive of the Oregon China Council. And that's okay. That's interesting. It should be like a mutual relationship there. But the fact is, it doesn't really benefit Oregon or Oregonians at all. But it is a place for our elected officials to mingle and rub elbows and get treated with the VIP treatment and what have you. And what's really remarkable is that Kate Brown is in full support of this organization. And matter of fact, Christine Drazan, Betsy Johnson, and Tina Kotek, all three of them, none of them will mention China ever. They won't say a disparaging word about China in Oregon, nothing. And very simply, as you said, it alludes to them being complicit. Because, for example, let's say Christine Drazan did not support China in any way, shape, or form here in Oregon, which is where she should be. If that was the case, and she knew Betsy and Kotek did support China, she'd be beating them over the head with it like a club, maybe a spiked club, because that's the contrast there. And right there, that's them selling out the state of Oregon to China. It's been going on for a while. And I refer to it as poisoning the well and try to get more Oregonians to just leave and give up. Part of it was importing homeless and drug users, what have you. And I have yet to hear a single one of these candidates offer any actual solution. They identify the problems, but that doesn't provide anything. And they're supposed to have some kind of solution for these things going into office. None of this, once I get in office, I'm gonna get a bunch of great people together to come figure out the problems, and then we're gonna attack them. Well, that's not even remotely close to a leader. That's a manager, and we don't need any more managers. We don't need any more politicians. So it's a fundamental problem. And for those people that are selling themselves short, they're compromising their vote, they're compromising themselves by choosing the lesser of three evils. Well, I got a problem with that. And they should have a problem with it too, because literally they're selling themselves out, they're selling Oregon out. And if we really want to recover and restore our state, we have to fundamentally chase out the bad guys. I mean, China's taken over Oregon without a shot fired, literally. And well, I don't know about you. No, sure I do. Yeah, you'll be willing to fire if the push comes to shove. But this is how they've been doing. This is how they've been selling us out. I mean, we have one gentleman, you probably know him, David Brock Smith, a Republican. This guy is so connected to the Chinese Oregon China Council. I mean, his picture's all over their website. And just to let you know, and this is really important about the Oregon China Council, on their website, it used to be in nice big letters, but now it's been shrunk. Down at the very bottom on their front page, it states, quote, Oregon China Council endorses full implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and its 17 global goals. And for the uninitiated, the 2030 Agenda they're referring to is the United Nations Agenda 2030. And this also includes the whole COVID-19 deal. The thing that's just shocking to me is that in their support of that, what that supports is a one world government. And I don't know about you, but fundamentally, anybody who supports an organization that supports this, that is supporting the undermining of our liberty, our freedom, and our sovereignty. And already, Obama did this when he allowed foreign countries to come and buy up property all over our country.
Right. And that's one of the reasons I will not be voting for David Brock Smith. That his voting record has just sunk to a whole new low. But the fact that, like you said, he, instead of coming out fighting against the China takeover in Oregon, wow, he's like going all in on this, man. And so are so many Republicans.
I'm sure he's going to make a very special list of people should push come to shove, because I'll tell you right now, there's way more of us good guy Oregonians willing to defend this state and than there are them. And well, again, we're stuck with politicians. People see the same name over and over again. They voted for it in the past. They vote for it again without really diving into who they are as a candidate. And that's one of the biggest problems we have in this state. People really do not know who their candidates are. You look at the judge races, right? I mean, Vance Day is the only guy. I'm writing him in all over the place. It's very disappointing. But the thing I want to say to Oregonians, if anybody's splitting the vote, that's Betsy Johnson already. And Betsy and Tina Kotek and Drazen, they are not going to achieve any real level of non-affiliated voter votes at all, because the NAVs, they won't vote for the Democrats. They won't vote for the Republican rhinos, especially. It's why Republicans left the party. And by the way, technically that includes me. So they're stuck in the realm of Democrat and Republican voters that actually turn out. And I don't think there's going to be a very big Democrat turnout. But at the same time, we didn't even see a very good Republican turnout at the primary. So I think the possibility, not including the NAV vote, is very high for Tina Kotek. The reality, and not to mention the fact we know that the systems are in place to help them cheat. And Drazen denies the whole fraudulent elections anywhere, and I have witnessed it myself. I've experienced it myself. I know this is true. No one can convince me otherwise. Yeah.
Let me go to my first commercial break.
Sure.
And then I can let you finish up on the second one. I'll give you a little more time.
Great. Thank you.
Not a problem.
All right, folks. So this is going pretty fair so far. We got the main points out we need, and we got to get people, we got to beat that drum. Contact your NAV voters. We got to get them to step up and fill out that ballot. Write some names in. This is their chance to totally upset this whole thing completely and totally and get us all back on track. This is it. And I know Drazen and them are pretty confident. I'm not feeling it. I think Betsy Johnson's going to pull a bunch of her votes, And I think that Tina Kotek and them are going to scrounge and they're going to steal whatever votes they need to win. So brace yourself for a new recall coming up come 6 months from January. So we'll have a 6-month lead in to that recall effort on whoever that governor might be, to be honest, unless it's me. Because once I get in there, all of Oregon's going to be happy with the changes we bring about because I know it can be done. And we're going to do exactly that. So I'm just still muted here, waiting for them to come back from the radio commercial break. And my wife has been interviewing some great people and has some new ones on the lineup. It's going to be pretty spectacular.
So I'm giving a little bit of time to all the governor candidates, and I've got Paul Romero on the phone, and he was just talking about some of the issues. And Paul, I have to give you kudos for your commercial because you've got a 30,000-foot view where the average guy has about a 10-foot view.
Yeah.
Most of them, they want to hear about the pocketbook issues where they may not understand what's actually contributing to those pocketbook issues. And I think that what you're talking about is really relays the problem at hand. And so I hope you're connecting with these people because I think what you're talking about is something that all the candidates should be talking about, but for the reasons you have mentioned, they're not. So if you would, go ahead and continue because you got it all the way to the bottom of the hour, man.
Thank you. Well, very simply, when you're dealing with any issue or problem, the first thing you do as a project manager, you go locate the real problem, not the symptoms, not the surface stuff, the real problem. And that's just been always my approach. So that's what I did. When I'm looking into the fish hatcheries and what have you, to find out what's going on there. Why are we sending our hatchery business stuff to China, right? So China, I keep finding China at the end of everything. And when you have a bunch of elected representatives representing China and hooking them up, but not taking care of their people, number one, do not elect them. Do not put them in office, please, because they're fully compromised, And for myself, the easiest way for anybody to really know where I stand, what I'm going to actually do, a big part of what I'm going to do as governor is to go to romerofororegon.com and read the contract with Oregon. That's been updated. I actually updated it on September 11th. And I think we need to have some positive connotation to that date. And as you know, my contract with Oregon is kind of a takeoff from the contract with America that was done by Newt Gingrich. And that was highly successful. It was the right thing to do, and they got it done. And for me, anybody running in the legislature should embrace this contract with Oregon. Every one of them should be using that on the tip of their spear, because if they go into the legislature and they address and attack these issues on behalf of Oregonians, they're going to do a great job and they're going to be appreciated and they won't be fearful when they're out in public. And right now we have a governor. She has plans to move to Bend, Oregon. Oh my gosh. Does anybody really want Kate Brown in Bend, Oregon? I don't think so. I don't think.
They certainly don't want her in Salem.
Yeah, no doubt. So my question then is, okay, maybe let's see, what's the smallest population city in Oregon where people might not even know who she is? That's where I'd recommend for her to move, or even preferably out of state. But with all the candidates, like I said, they'll talk about we have homeless issue, yeah, and we have this issue, yeah, but nobody offers a real solution. And Betsy Johnson's, let's put all these homeless people in a unused prison. Well, you got them in jail already, basically. So again, what are you actually fixing? And the way I address that problem is very simple. Number one, and this idea, by the way, was not my idea. It came from a homeless person. And they said, run E-Verify on everybody that's registered homeless, benefits and everything. If they don't pass it, boom, call up ICE, they're out. Number two, you find out where these people came from. And if some governor, some other state imported them from Florida or wherever it might have been, all the way here to Oregon to reap the benefits and be able to use all the different drugs and what have you, well, guess what? You're going back to your home state and your governor will be footing the bill in the end. And then that leaves us with our own homeless. And we can address that, whether it's mental illness, drug addiction, just bad breaks, whatever it might, mental illness, all that stuff. And we already have things in place to address this. to take care of these people. But what I found out is they're inundated with illegals. They're inundated with people that are not even from this state. So we're not actually taking care of our own at all. But they are most definitely creating a bigger problem for all Oregonians. So, I mean, there are really intelligent, common sense ways to approach and fix these problems, but none of them are talking about it. Not a single one. I even sent a copy of my contract with Oregon into Christine Drazen in the off chance she might possibly win. I don't, put that bug in her ear but the problem is she's already beholden to all the people that we don't need her beholden to. That is a fundamental problem for any politician. And I really have grown to despise that name politician, because I prefer project manager, because at least then you have to get some results, right? You're held to account for that. But these politicians, it's like they're experts at kicking the can down the road or blaming somebody else. I mean, it's easy to say, okay, I come into the economy, here's the problems, great. Okay, I didn't start this mess, but you know what? I'm here to fix it. Let's get to work. And you go through an audit process. You start shutting off the spigots from our general fund. I mean, there's ways to turn Oregon around and make it more efficient and more like a business that actually takes care of its people. And the inflation, the gas prices, the food prices. Oh my gosh, I'm spending twice as much for less groceries in a given month. Everybody's tightening their belt. And remember way back when they were so proud of how food stamp numbers were going up? Remember when they were like, oh, look.
They're still continuing that. I get press releases all the time. We're going to continue SNAP for another 6 months, for another 3 months. I mean, they keep continuing it.
It's like they're proud that they are able to create conditions that put so many people on food stamps, and they don't recognize that that's wrong. That's a bad situation. So, for me, it's just common sense issues, but you have to be tough. You have to have a spine and a backbone and some strong shoulders. And I can tell you this, we do not have that in Tina Kotek, Betsy Johnson, or Christine Drazen. Not a single one of them. And we don't see, I would love to have been on a debate stage with those ladies. I really would have. And I don't know if you saw any of the Rogue Splice videos where they spliced my responses in with them on their debates. There's over 17 questions, and I got in there, and basically I was asked the question, given the same amount of time, I responded, and they spliced that into it, and we got it on Rockfin. I can send you a copy, but it's a matter of people, if they could see me on the stage with everybody else, there wouldn't even be a question. I mean, they would be very confident in writing my name, Paul Romero, on their ballot for governor. Not a question.
And that's what was infuriating to a lot of us, is that we want to see all the candidates, and that's what the primary is for. It weeds out everyone, because there's 150 people who ran for Republicans.
Yeah.
Democrats. Well, it weeds out all those people, so why not? You have the room for this. Throw all the candidates up there, but they don't want to hear you, Paul. They don't want to hear the libertarian candidates. They don't want to know what you got to say.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the media in the state of Oregon is remarkable. We sent out letters, emails to every newspaper, every media, everything, just to get an interview. Just an interview, right?
Yeah.
Nothing. Zero. Zilch. So in other words, the Oregon media is very much attuned to helping to decide who the candidates are going to be. This I would call undue influence. Okay, we have a statute against things like that. You either give everybody the same fair time or nobody, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
You're supposed to give, if you have a governor candidate on, you have any candidate from any position, you're supposed to offer the same amount of time to every other candidate in that position. And I'll tell you, I do that every single time I have someone on here. I offer that time to everyone else. And it just infuriates me they don't do that.
Well, and the worst part, I guess, is, for us, and as you know, the Constitution Party has just been an absolute train wreck, the leadership there. And no matter what we did within the boundaries of the law and the rules and everything else, even after we won the first ruling with the same laws that were reviolated again, and the Secretary of State's Election Division just decided not to apply them again. They should have, they didn't. And Michael Stetler and I both experienced our civil rights being violated by the deputy director of the elections division, Luke Labant, and I even got it on video, 3-minute video, and it's just this guy is I'm stunned. But we have the evidence to prove it. We have the evidence to prove that Alma Whalen was actually lying to us when we were in that office as well. So this is the Secretary of State's office really needs a complete overhaul and a replacement. Hose that place down, empty it out, and start over again. I know Mark Thielman is running for Secretary of State. Yeah, and I think he'd do a great job there, and I know he'd do a great job cleaning house. My biggest concern is also with any candidate, if they are not outspoken in regards to China, then they are not our candidate. It's an automatic disqualifier. Betsy Johnson, she was on the board of directors for the Portland branch of the Federal Reserve Bank. If you were connected to the Federal Reserve Bank, guess what? To me, you've just disqualified yourself. But see, so many people don't know these things about these people. And for me, as you know, it's about information. Get the real information, the truth out there. Eventually, the horse biscuits fall out of the horse. And then there's those that can still walk in the light and those that can't anymore, right? You've seen how I've been ambushed over on this show, right? And so far, I'm the one that's really still standing. I've had to fight some incredible opposition, but there was no substance to that opposition. Well, the people that came on, I mean, Roger Shipman, he embarrassed himself. Donis, yeah, well, either way, but
give your website,
yeah,
and we'll go from there.
Excellent. Anyway, you want to get to RomeroForOregon.com. It's RomeroForOregon.com. You want to make sure you read at least the contract with Oregon. That is my absolute commitment to you as a voter, as an Oregonian. And once you've done that, hey, give me a call if you got a question that I haven't answered. Or better yet, go find me on Facebook or Rumble or Telegram, and we'll be reposting all these different videos with the candidate forums with the 3 governors at the top, the gubernatorial candidates at the top, and you can see my responses to the same questions that they answered. To me, it's one of the best ways to know me, who I am as a candidate. But I've been doing lives twice a week for almost 2 years now, and I answer the hard questions. I don't hold anything back, and if I don't know, I don't know. But so far, I've done a pretty good job at fielding every question that's come at me. So
we got to get out of here. We're at the bottom of the hour, and I want to thank you for coming on.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. Bye-bye.
Right. And with that, folks,
all right, sports fans, got to swing for the fences. Just gotta. So, where does that leave all of us? Very simply this. We have to get the word out to the non-affiliated voters any way you can. I'm on TikTok. Lady Jenkins has put a whole bunch of great stuff together out there. What else? The matter of fact, you know what I need to do? I'm going to go find this other, this Rockfin. Okay. All right. Oh, come on. Give me 1 second there. Now, when you go to Rockfin, ROKFIN.com, you can hit, there's a button down there that says watch content. And when you do that, you go up and list Corbin, C-O-R-B-I-N, Tolan, and Rogue Splice will pop up. So it's C-O-R-B-I-N, Corbin Tolan, T-O-L-E-N. And when that comes up, you'll see a big Rogue Splice. Click on that. And then when you scroll down, you're going to find all kinds of awesome interviews and what have you. And the first one I'd have to admit it's probably one of the better ones because it covers so much. I think it ended up being an hour and a half long, I think. Let's see, where is it? There's interviews on this with the Constitution Party membership, Roger Shipman, and all these people. What they don't realize is they literally lied, and all these recordings basically are evidence for me in the future. So, but let's see, where is that one? Uh, let's see. Well, 51. Well, here we go. Let's go ahead and go with that one. I'm going to actually put this in the chat room there. Oh, there we go. All right. But this one covers the Oregon-China deal pretty extensively. If people knew these things, they would never fill in any of those ovals. None of them. And then there's people say, well, we got to do this so we can win. And if we do that, then we'll have a chance at the next time. No. It's going to be 4 more years of China control in Oregon. If you want that, you're not going to be able to afford to live here. I'm just telling you now. That's what's going to happen. So what do you want? What does Oregon really want? Well, I don't think they want China running our state in business, our investments, nothing like that. But yet they are. Guys, this has been a cold, calculated thing that has taken a lot of time, a lot of patience on their part, and a lot of complacency, stupidity, and ignorance on our part. We have too many people that will sell the family cow for a bunch of non-magic beans. And in effect, that's what's happened. So they got the cow, which is Oregon, and we got nothing. So what are we going to do? Well, it's up to every voter to get out there, talk to your friends, talk to your family, get them to step up, get them to write in. And that's another thing, like I said, I'm not going after the Republican vote. I'm not even going after the Democrat vote. I'm going after the non-affiliated voter vote because they are fed up. They recognize the issues of the Democrat and Republican Party. And I'm sure reading the contract with Oregon, they'll go, you know what? This is the only guy that's even offered us a solution on what he's actually going to do when he gets in there for any given issue. It doesn't get better than that. And for the people that know me, that really know me, the legitimate people, yeah, they know that I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. That's it. And there's still the haters out there. And, one of them that I ran into recently, which was quite a shock, to be honest. But she was actually making an effort to contact anybody who was telling people, hey, I'm writing in Paul Ribeiro for governor. And then she tried to come in there as an authority about how abusive I am to people and to especially women. No, it's not been me ever at all. And he claimed to the contrary. Back it up. Let's see the witnesses to these things. Let's see and hear it from them. Let's see them make a public statement. And you know what you've gotten so far? Zero, nothing, because there is nothing. If you've ever had a relationship that went south, went sour for whatever reason, did you really know exactly why it went south? Was the grass greener on the other side of the fence? Did they not like how you didn't put your shoes away? Or your socks didn't make it into the laundry? Right? Who knows? The simple fact is this. We are not compatible with everybody. But that doesn't necessarily mean that doesn't equate to being abusive of people. And we should never be that. And for me, I my first marriage, I spent some time being abused. She had a condition. I didn't know what it was about. Never experienced that in my life. And unfortunately, had to deal with it. And it was a painful, trying experience. And in the end, yeah, it did more damage to the family overall as a whole. Could I have handled it better? Maybe if I had known more something about it beforehand, not finding out way afterhand, and then have to be chasing to catch up. But the fact is, no, never struck a woman, never did any kind of physical abuse to any woman ever in my life. Anybody claims contrary to that, let's go have a face-to-face conversation because you are lying. Now, what do I do with these people that keep coming up and making this effort to libel, slander, maliciously defame, or do the character assassination? They don't even know me. And they're basing it on what somebody else told them, claiming that they have evidence. And we always ask them, well, where's your evidence? Show us your, well, I know somebody who has direct experience. That's not evidence. And because of what you did, here are the laws you violated. Congratulations. Now we have documented this, and when we choose to go to civil court and get you for $10,000 and our attorney fees, we will do that. All things in time. You got to pick your battles. I understand that. And somebody was trying to say, well, you're running for office. You got to have thicker skin than that. No, listen. If I'm going to be attacked for stuff that I'm not guilty of, and somebody's going to lie about me, well, then it's my responsibility and it's my prerogative to defend myself. But there are those, oh, no, you're running for, you can't defend yourself. No, that's like a bully telling the little guy, sorry, you can't defend yourself. You can't fight back. Otherwise, I'm just going to hurt you more, right? But they're already hurting you. They're already trying to hurt you. And I've had so much of that in this campaign. I'm tired of it. So these people, at some point, I'm going to literally make signs with their face on it and what they did, what they said, and to whom they said it, the witnesses to this, and just make it public knowledge. It's only fair, right? At least I'm telling the truth. No exaggeration, just the truth. So they can't get me with libel, slander, or anything like that. I'm just stating the truth. So this game has two sides to that coin. And, well, I'm going to play my side, no matter what. Why? Because you know what? Who I am as a person, who I've been my whole life, matters. I have stayed between the lines my entire life. And I see people and associations and groups of people that are associated with some of the worst bitter dregs we have in our society. And when I'm being attacked by those people who've been in jail for many years for doing serious crimes, really serious crimes, to attack me who's done no crime at all. Yeah, no, I'm not going to tolerate it. And if it was my way, shoot, Thunderdome, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. I'd be okay with that. Yeah. So anyway, I want to thank you all for being here for this little short impromptu event, and please spread the word. You got the link out there for the Rockfin, and matter of fact, I'm gonna throw a couple more up there too, because let's see, where's that one? So I got you that one, I think. Let's go grab this one. Yeah, I'll grab this one too. And like I said, we just have to keep spreading the word the best we can, everywhere we can. And hey, we do what we can. When it comes to the media, don't be afraid to lash out at them, guys. Let them know that, listen, why aren't you interviewing all the candidates? You have failed reporting the news to all of us. You say you're represented by looking out for us and getting us all the information, all the news that's fit to print. In fact, no, you don't. Don't be afraid to let them know. So with that said, I'm legit. Yeah, I got to talk to you about LD. I got to talk to you about that. We're doing on the Roar Entertainment LLC website. We're going to get that store up and running, and it'll be connected with the Romero for Oregon as well. But be looking out for things because, like I said, we're not stopping. We're not giving up. We're not surrendering one bit. And at some point, we may be recalling a brand new governor. Okay? Because once the truth is out, actually, the first thing I'm going to do is call for the resignation. Because of their involvement with China and their acts of treason, they need to be removed from office. They need to summarily resign immediately. And here's the best part. When you have people like Shemaiah Fagan, the Secretary of State, guess who else supports the Oregon-China Council? I know, right? There's even a nice video of her talking about it. Oh, yeah. So, once again, it's time for us to clean up Oregon, but it's going to take all of us Oregonians to do it. So don't quit, don't give up. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. Tuesday we'll be doing another live tomorrow. And by the way, part of my live tomorrow is going to be on a topic of how to beat Child Protective Services. Oh yeah, you're going to really want this one. It's a lot of great information, and you're just going to be stunned. Okay, we have rights, and the truth is, they don't. I know, it's a wonderful thing, guys. So anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. Be looking for me around 6 o'clock, and we'll see what we can do, and see what races we can follow, and stay informed. All right. So good night. Thank you for being here. Take care. Never give up. Never surrender.